Hey, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Let's talk about gone to pot, the expression gone to pot, and how that affects our building our business and our life. This is the segment where I discuss and talk about and journal and share all of the trials and tribulations I'm going through as I am transitioning from the brick and mortar world of real businesses, corporate America, and traditional businesses, not having anything to do with the internet or online world, to the online world. And what's working, what's not working, what's going well, what's going really, really bad, what I'm getting sidetracked in and stuck in learning loops or going down the wrong road, so that you can hopefully not have those things happen to you. So one of the segments I do every day is a Supersize Your Business segment. And then to really stretch myself and get out of my comfort zone, I go live on my personal page every day. And today I got really nervous. I have to admit, I got really nervous. Two people I admire very much were on there listening. And it made me nervous. And then I start talking on twisting my tongue and sounding like an absolute blithering idiot because I'm nervous because certain people are on there. And isn't it funny that even at my age, we still fall into that trap where we get nervous because people we admire are listening or are watching. Now, the thing is about live video, a lot of the time, you don't even know who's listening or watching. And my vision is bad enough that I usually can't see the names as they appear on the screen or on my phone. And so I can get away with just talking and not sounding like an idiot. But today I could actually see the names and I'm like, oh, dang it. So even I still fall prey to that. After thousands of videos, I still get nervous. I still get tongue-tied. It was funny. Blake Newbar was doing a blooper reel on his page the other day. He just started a page, which was excellent, by the way. And he did a little blooper reel. And he said, you know, no matter how many videos you've done, you make mistakes. You trip over your words. And that's human nature. And the thing about live video is we don't have the opportunity to edit and redo and take it back. And you know what? It doesn't really matter. I mean, people that are, you know, multi-millionaires like Russell Brunson still make mistakes. We trip over our tongues. And there's a, you know, Tony Robbins, everybody makes mistakes sometimes. And it's okay because we're all human. It shows you that we are human. So gone to pot, that expression, and why do I want to talk about that? I like the expression because I'm actually on my wrong page. I like to take a Post-it note and then pop it in. And it's really funny because I write these Post-it notes, but I can't read them. These days, I don't know if I've mentioned, but I am legally blind and I don't talk about it very much because I feel that it undermines, it's probably a false belief or a fear, but I feel it undermines my credibility if people know that I can't frickin' see very well. No, just because I can't see very well, it doesn't impact my ability to do 95% of what I do anyway. But there's that fear element that people will judge, well, why should I listen to her? She's blind. Why should I listen to this? She's blind. Now, I'm not 100% blind. I'm just legally blind. And there's certain aspects and certain areas of my life that I don't do things in anymore because I can't see very well. I don't drive. I don't drive now for a couple of years because, and I self-stopped driving because I couldn't see. And I was like, it's not safe for me to be driving around if I can't see. So in areas of my vision, I have gone to pot. But I write these because the act of writing helps me to remember the key points and things that I want to talk about, even if I can't see or read them. So it's funny that I write these Post-it notes and then I try to find the page with my magnifying glass of where that particular note goes. And I don't even know how I got off the page, but it doesn't matter right now. And it's just a fun little thing I started doing. I don't know, I guess today's day 178, so 178 days ago I started doing it because I was looking for a way to practice talking about a different subject and looking at things from a different perspective every day. And as I was packing and moving, yes, it's taken me over 178 days to move, I found this little book of idioms that was actually my kids. And you might think, well, isn't that insulting people to do idioms from a book or sayings and phrases from a book for kids? Well, it's probably junior high, which, let's be honest, a lot of us stopped listening and learning and paying attention in junior high. And so is it really bad to do it? No, because today is an example of an expression that I had never really known where it originally came from. Gone to pot actually doesn't mean being lost to the drugs. It means, which is, you know, my generation, it's kind of what we think. We were influenced in the 60s and 70s about drugs and how terrible drugs were, and pot in particular was this gateway drug to everything. Well, now CBD oil and cannabis is in tons of products, and I predict that in the next 10 years it will be very, very mainstream, and all of the big companies that sell us cigarettes and tobacco and food will be well ingrained in the cannabis or in the pot industry. That's not really much of a prediction because here's my page. I always put a tab in there so I can find my page. Prediction that will actually come to pass. So in 10 years, if it hasn't, if I'm not dead, y'all can come and say, you were wrong, Sharon, you were wrong. But I just think that there's too much money involved in the industry to have big business and big industries to stay out of it much longer. They're going to get the government to change, at least making it possible for them to be involved in that business. And the government wants it because it's an incredible amount of tax dollars to run the infrastructure of the company and to do the programs and the social programs and to line the pockets of the politicians in the ways that they want, or to take care of their pet projects and the projects that they promote and are behind. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. So, gone to pot. Are there areas or aspects of your life that you're letting slip away, that you're letting get worse and worse? Now, the key main areas that I've noticed in my life where it happens when I'm not paying attention is in the area of finances, in the area of relationships, and in the area of my personal health and weight. And weight because it's easy to see. If I can't fit into my jeans, I'm obviously not paying enough attention to my health. If my jeans are too big, I'm obviously not paying attention to my health. And for me, weight has been one of those things that is tied to my health that I really haven't listened to or paid attention to enough, but it has gone up and down in direct correlation to different health challenges and health issues I've had over my lifetime. And if we don't pay attention to something, a key area of our life, the key area of relationships, the area of our finances, or the area of our personal health, it will get our attention. So if we let it slip and let it go long enough, something's going to happen in one of those areas of our life that will really get our attention. I let my relationship and my marriage slip, and I am now divorced. I let my health slip, and I had a sudden cardiac arrest and died. I have let businesses slip, and they have gone out of business. So it's an example of what we don't pay attention to can come back and bite us in the butt. It can come back to harm us, but we don't have to let it. And it doesn't take a ton of attention or a ton of conscious attention in any one of these areas of our life to help them be successful and help them remain healthy. And it's the little habits that we set up, the things that we do routinely and ritualistically that will set us up for success in each of those areas or cause us to have challenges and failures in each of those areas. Now, I don't really believe in failure. I believe that failure is just a result, and it's showing us something that we need to learn from. A lesson we need to learn is being shown to us. And if I think about going to pot and my health, I spent decades ignoring my health and doing the minimum to get by when it came to eating and drinking beverages that were healthy for me. I lived on Diet Coke or a version of diet soda, probably from the time I went to college to a month before I had my sudden cardiac arrest. I mean, that was my mainstay of consumption for energy, was caffeinated diet beverages, coffee, I'm talking a couple pots a day, and eating probably not all day. I never ate breakfast, really seldom, if ever, ate any lunch. Usually snacked on something during the day, probably a couple ravioli, because for 35 years I made ravioli. So I'd grab a ravioli here and a ravioli there right out of the pot and munch on that, which is not like, I love ravioli. It's awesome. And the ones we made were no preservatives, no nothing. But if you're not eating anything and all you're drinking is diet beverages and coffee, and then you're eating, pasta with cheese and maybe chips before bed or whatever you could grab that was handy, or chocolate. Now, I wasn't big chocolate, but caramels usually, but something not good for me, whatever that happened to be on hand, not good. And I did that for a lot of years. And after a lot of years along the way, I had health challenges, and they got progressively worse, but I still didn't pay attention and I didn't listen to them until the point of I had a stopping moment. There are moments that immediately stop us, and nothing stops us faster than a health challenge, either to us or someone we're very close to, somebody near and dear to our heart. And hopefully when something happens to somebody we know, even remotely, it gives us a wake-up call and we pay attention. But oftentimes not. We know, and we've gotten sort of jaded when it comes to illnesses and cancers in other people, or dying and famine and things, because we hear so much about it in this world where we're all connected yet disconnected, and there's access to media and information like never before. I think that we lose some of our ability to empathize with things and then learn the lesson through other people versus having to learn it firsthand ourselves. At least that's what happened to me. I saw all this going on around me. I experienced it firsthand with people close to me in my life, but I didn't learn the lesson about taking care of yourself, taking care of your health, or it's gonna shut you down and stop you until you pay attention to it. So now, guess what? One of my number one priorities is my routines that I've set in place for my health to make sure that I don't go to pot. But again, when things interrupt those routines, like moving or changing my daily routine, like incorporating my 4-year-old granddaughter into my routine now, those things have to change. They have to morph. They have to go into a state of balance again, where I've got habits and rituals that automatically take care of my health. I've got habits and rituals that automatically take care of my finances and cause them to continually improve. I've got habits and rituals that automatically take care of the relationships in my life, so that I make sure that those areas are all covered and taken care of. Garrett White, I'm not sure if you know who he is, but he does Wake Up Warrior. Wake Up Warrior is his program, and he's got a 4-part program. I learned about it at Funnel Hacking Live 2018, and it's a really good balanced program where you pay attention to your health. You do these same things for your health every single day. Now, of course, he's teaching all of his followers and students what works for him, and you need to find what works for you. You can follow a lot of people, you can study, you can figure it out on your own, and bottom line, it's like, just find what works for you and incorporate that into your life. And then as you do it, as you do somebody else's system, they're pieces of somebody else's system, adjust and do what feels right for you to create your own unique custom system. Because bottom line, the only way anything will ever work for you is if you make it your own. So we can use coaches, we can take courses, we can learn things, but until we internalize and make those things our own, nothing happens. We won't stick to it. We won't take action because we don't own it. Until we own it, nothing will really be permanent. Until we make it ours and our ritual, our way of saying things, our way of describing things, our way of understanding things, they belong to someone else. And as long as that process belongs to someone else and we haven't done it and taken action on it and incorporated it into our life, we don't own it. And if we don't own it, it's very easy to quit. And that's the thing about habits. Bad habits, super easy to form, hard to quit. Good habits, hard to form, easy to quit. So how do we make our good habits easy to form and hard to quit? By making a commitment to ourselves, by saying, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I do every day. I do my morning ritual every single day unless something major or catastrophic impacts it. You know, if my son or daughter are in the hospital, I will interrupt my morning routine. If, something happens, if there's a tornado and my house gets blown down, I will interrupt my morning routine. But I will still find a way to do the things that I need to do to take care of my health, to take care of my finances, to take care of my relationships. So, gone to pot. I guess that's an awfully strange digression from the expression gone to pot, but it just is paying attention to areas of our life that are critical and important to us so that they don't get worse and worse, so they don't decline because we're not paying attention to them. That's it. Go out, make it an awesome day. Let's talk just a second about business stuff. What am I doing? One Full Away Challenge. Day 6 and day 7 are breather days because the first week of the challenge is actually a pre-work week that talks about belief, that talks about, it's really brilliant the way this is mapped out. add some more monetization pieces to it because they do such an incredible job of doing that in this particular 30-day challenge. I also got my One Funnel Away challenge box in the mail. It was on the porch yesterday, so I'm going to do a box opening in a minute. I've gotten it before, but I've never done a box opening, and I love those videos where you do a box opening and you reveal all the cool stuff in the box because they're fun. And I got to tell you, even though I've gotten it before, I was still excited to see it on the front porch today, so that was fun. Also, then as part of that, I will roll out, I'm thinking a challenge funnel this time will be what I do as I go through the challenge. I'm going to do my own challenge funnel because I'm working on a challenge for a customer. So I'm like, why not incorporate what I'm doing with that client into my going through the One Funnel Away challenge? Or maybe I'll do one for myself. We'll see. Haven't decided yet. And I don't have to decide because we haven't even started the challenge yet. We just did the pre-work week. Safe, go out, make it an absolutely amazing day. If I can help you in any way, go ahead and hit me up in the comments below because that's what I live for. That's what I love to do is positively impact the lives of others. And I do that by helping you to be yourself and really learn that the most important thing on the planet is for you to be you and feel good. And if I can help you to be yourself and feel good, then I feel like I'm making the difference that I'm here to make. That's it. Have an amazing day. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.